Hey, welcome back to King Cole TV, guys. Today, all the Titans have been revealed for the next expansion for Hearthstone. And I think it's set to release on August 1st. So I just want to go over all of them, do a little review of them, and put on a tier list of what I think Titan is going to make it to S tier or just be a part of the meta in general. To be frank, I think that all of these cards are going to be played in a deck or all of the decks because they are very strong cards. If you guys do not know what a Titan is, play it down, you click on it again like a location, and then you get to play 3 different abilities, and then those abilities are absurd. They're insane, but the Titans can die, and I think that is the point. So they're strong enough to get off their ability, and then for them, I think the value of each one is definitely worth the one ability that you get off, and it makes them a huge threat, so you want to get rid of them so that your opponent doesn't get off another ability that is absurd, and we'll go over all the abilities as well that they do. So first off, let's go with Vatron Prime. So this is the rogue Titan and it's spelled different because this isn't a real Titan. This is Hearthstone's own fantasy creation of a Titan. But I don't really care. I've never played, well, I don't know the lore of World of Warcraft. I've played it, but I don't really care about it. So it's a 6 mana 3/5, and this minion's abilities repeat on another random friendly minion. So mechs, I'm pretty excited for this. Like mechs in Rogue are I've never heard of that ever since I've been playing Hearthstone, and I've been playing since like it came out in 2014. I've never heard of them being super good. So mechs and Rogue, I'm pretty excited for. It might actually make me play Rogue. I don't play Rogue too much right now. The class is the only like deck that's actually good is Miracle Rogue, so it's kind of hard to play Rogue right now anyways. But so gain 2 +2 +1 and then deal 4 damage to a random enemy. And I don't know if this procs twice because this minion's abilities repeat on another random friendly minion, so I think it does. So you're doing 8 damage. So you're playing 6 mana, you get a 3/5 body. Well, you get a 5/6 body, and you're doing 8 damage worth of stats if you have that other minion on board. So I think it's I like this card. Like, I don't want to rank it too low. We haven't seen the rest of the cards that that this expansion has to offer yet. So I think they are pushing Mech Rogue. So I do think this card's going to be playable. It's going to be super good, and it's going to be one of their staple cards in that deck. Overall viability, or like overall, like, is this card overall good? You know what? I'm praying for a I'm praying that they'd make a Mech Rogue work, and it's a top tier class or a top tier deck. So I'm gonna go full throttle with this. I'm gonna go full power with this and say that this is gonna be a good card. The other abilities are gain +1 +2 and draw a card. So you're drawing 2 cards, and then you're also giving that stat line to another minion. And here's the special one that is probably going to be the first ability that you play off, unless you just want the extra 8 damage, which is also super viable and super good. Gain +3 health and can't be targeted by spells or hero power. Super strong. You're pretty much making 2 mechs untargetable, so even bigger of a threat and even harder to remove, especially in a mech deck, which is probably going to be aggro. It's going to be aggressive as heck. So I do think this card's going to be good, which I'm gonna land it in the I'm gonna be a little generous and land it in the A tier, mainly because I want Mech Rogue to thrive. But there's Vatron Prime, super cool. I like the card idea. Actually, probably one of my favorite Titans, just because I like the card art and the card idea in general, and I do like mechs. So I hope they get more mechs added to Rogue and just in general, because I know they're coming out with, I think it's like a 3/1 spider looking thing that gives a card stealth. So there you go already. You can plop this down and throw that card down next to it. Magnetic, it is magnetic, so you're giving this card stealth and making it even more unkillable. But that's if you even make it to turn 9, I think is what that's going to be, because it's like a 3 mana 3/1 or a 3 mana 3/3. To plop onto this even more and then get more stat buffed on other mechs. So I'm being very generous and putting it in the 8s here, just because I do want Mech Rogue to be a thing. All right, next one up is the Premise. And guys, hear me out. I'm gonna be a little biased because I like Death Knight. But I think this card is probably going to be in every single Death Knight deck. If not every single, at least Blood, at least Undead too. For Frost, I do think it would be in Frost too, because aggro Frost would even take value in this card, because you're giving your spells +3 spell damage, and you are discovering a card. So after this use, after you use an ability, discover a card with that rune. So you run it in a Blood deck, you're getting a Blood card. If you're running it in a Frost deck, you're getting a Frost card with +3 spell damage and mana cheat on top. And then if you're running it in an Undead deck, you're getting more bodies, more corpses, and this is what you summon. Summon 2 3/3 undeads with taunt and reborn. So that's what you're summoning. That's what you're summoning, and the fact that they have reborn, getting you even more corpses, getting them even more potential to stick on board, so you can play your Gravedigger and just blow your opponent up. Super cool. Probably gonna be played in every single Death Knight deck. So that being said, I would love to give this card S tier, and no, my bias isn't getting in the way, I swear. I swear. But yeah, I do think that card's gonna be played in every single Death Knight. It works in all of them. It's definitely a good finisher. Yeah, definitely a good finisher, or just a good way to just get more things on board to inevitably finish your opponent. The Blood one even like follows suit with it. Destroy an enemy minion. This minion and your hero gain its health. Like, that is insane. It's just a better way for Blood to get more health. Think about if they had the Phantom from Warlock there. You're getting 15 health off of that, and so is this card. So that Warlock better have something. Better have a soul stealer, or one of those, like, you know, destroy that minion spell. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. But I do think this card is going to be super good and going to be in every single Death Knight deck once it is released. Next is Sagrius the Destroyer. Don't hate on me for not knowing how to pronounce these. Are you serious? You try to say that. What does that even mean? I think they just make this up. This is the Warlock one. I'm actually super pumped for this card too. So Battlecry, open a portal that summons 2 3/2 imps each turn. So it's a portal, and Hearthstone loves making Warlock just summon a bunch of imps for some reason whatsoever. The problem with this card already is that it is 9 mana. There's a lot of ways to mana cheat it out, but the other problem is that this Battlecry, you need this Battlecry, because that pretty much what makes the card what it is. And it also goes very well with Legion Invasion, which is one of its abilities. Future demons summoned from the Twisting Nether have +2 health and taunt. That means you're gonna be, if you use this ability first, you're gonna be having 3/4 imps with taunt, and you're having 2 of those every single turn. Insane ability right here. So you definitely want the Battlecry and you want to play it. Inferno, summon 2 6/6 Infernals from the Twisting Nether. Not as good in my opinion. It's definitely the last ability that you would want to play toward the end, unless you are going for that final kill, but most likely you are in a position where you need to survive, so you're either doing Legion of Invasion or To the Void, which is send all other minions into the Twisting Nether, and this is like a poof or a life sentence, so any card that is Death Rattle, that Death Rattle will not activate. So very neat, very cool. I love effects like that because it is kind of like a silence, and Priest needs to share the love with all those Whirlpool and other nonsense cards that they get and no other class gets. All right, let's be honest. This is the Twisting Nether, so at the end of your turn, summon 2 3/2 imps. So this only works from the Twisting Nether portal. So, which kind of sucks, so that means all of your demons won't get that +2 health and taunt. So mainly, I think the only one that you're going to be playing with this is Legion of Invasion. Like this combination. So you can get those 3/4s on 3/4s on board, which is huge stats. And also, if you're playing versus an aggro deck, or playing versus any board control, or not board control, board present minion deck, that pretty much just shuts them down completely, because they have to get through 3/4 taunts every single time just to do damage with your face, to your face. These are the imps, and that is the infernals. The other thing that makes this card a little bit better too is if you play your Symphony of Sins, they do have that They do have that symphony that gets your highest cost minion out of your deck and then reduces its cost by like 3 or something like that. So that is a lot of potential here, because this is definitely going to be the highest cost minion in your deck if you do run that route and want to play that route. So I do love this card. I think it's really cool. I think it's awesome. But I do think that this is going to be more so an A tier Warlock card. Is it going to make Warlock stronger or better? I don't think so. Let's not put it that harshly. So I do think that this Titan is like it's a board turning card for sure, but it's costs so much, so it's like, and the way Hearthstone's going is that aggro decks are so prevalent, where like games end turn 8, not even turn 9. They end at like turn 6 and 5 and 7. Like that's the prime time for the games to end, and this is taking you till turn 9. So is it gonna make this? Is it gonna like pop off, or is it gonna be meta defining? I don't think so, but it is still an A tier Titan in my opinion, because if they do have the cards to support it and make it pop off, super cool. And its just effects are insane. And granted, all Titans effects are ridiculously insane. So let's go on to Galganeth, and this is the Shaman Titan. Your first spell each turn costs 3 less. So that is really strong. I wonder if this goes with that like 8 mana card that copies your minions. Forgot what the lineup, prison lineup or something like that. Something lineup. So that would make that a 5 mana card, and so you couldn't play it on the same turn unless you had that weapon as well, that Overlord weapon, which is what you would run this deck in, because one of its abilities is draw 3 Overload cards. So they are trying to help out Shaman in the Overload package with this card. So I mean, you could potentially copy him and get 2 more, 3 more on board, and keep playing all these abilities, which are fairly insane, I think. So we have Lord of the Skies, which is deal 20 damage to a minion. I love the fact that they made the damage total so high. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but I love it. It's so random. I mean, the only reason you need 20 damage is for, I mean, I guess if you're playing Rock and Roll Warrior, or you're playing against the Warlock that has Phantom in the deck, and then they drop that, and you're just like, 20 damage, overkill still. 5 over, baby. Super cool. I love this. I think they just did it for some flavor, just to show the presence of this Titan. The next one is Roaring Oceans. Deal 3 damage to all enemies and restore 6 health to all friendly characters. Super strong. If you have a board and they're weak from either damaging minions to make them weaker, so that you could clear the board and then heal all your minions, or even if you just need a board killer, because your opponent has a bunch of small minions on board. So super cool, and it heals you. Awesome against aggro decks. This is making like control shamans better, mid-range shamans, even mid-range shaman decks more of a thing. And I love those I love those style of decks. I think Overlord Shaman hopefully gets enough support to become a thing with this expansion, and this card is definitely helping that out. And it has cool artwork. Look at that, insane. Lord of the Skies. What is this, Thor? The next one is Sharagon's Wrath. Draw 3 Overload cards, and we went over this already. So you can pretty much use this right off the bat, and if all of your Overload cards are fairly cheap. So think about it. You play this on turn, what is it? You play it on turn 8. You drop this down, and then you have some other minion on board, and you draw Jive Insect. You're playing a 5/7 and an 8/8 Ragnaros for 8 mana, which is fairly insane. And then there's other 2 Overload cards that you draw. You could also potentially play if you have a Thunderstrike in your deck. Is that what it's called? Thunderstrike? I think it's Thunderstrike, right? Thunderstrike in your deck, or another Overload card that you're drawing. You are just playing a lot of potential cards and just a huge swing turn from this card. So super strong Titan. I think this Titan is for Shaman specifically. I think this Titan's S tier. Just because I think it's pretty much what Shaman needs right now in that Overload package. Something more to control the board, and hopefully they get more support, and I think they are. That's why I'm making it S tier. The next one we are going to do is not him, Argus, the Emerald Star, which is the Demon Hunter card. Demon Hunter Titan. The minions to the left of this have rush, and ones to the right have lifesteal. Super cool effect. I love when they do effects like that, where ones on the right have this and ones on the left have this. Is it gonna be good in Demon Hunter? Demon Hunter has a lot of, maybe like relics is the only thing I think this can be good in. Relics, or maybe even, kind of think maybe even Outcast a little bit, but Outcast doesn't really want high cards like this. They usually don't make it to turn. They want to end the game around turn like 5, 6, and they're not really going to be wanting to play this on turn 7, but maybe they are, because it summons 4 2/2 elementals with taunt. There's going to be 2 on the right and 2 on the left, so 2 of them are going to get that taunt and 2 of them are going to get that lifesteal. Again, doesn't really fit in what overload well, they do have rush, but it doesn't really fit in what not overload either. Outcast Demon Hunter wants to do. It doesn't fit that, like, what they want to do. They just want to get a bunch of Outcast cards on board and then smack their opponent with it. They don't really want to play this on turn 7, because by the time it's turn 7 they should already be close to ending the game, and they would want more damage up front to hit their opponent in the face. Not something that's more so controlling and survivability, so you can get that burst damage later off in the game, is the way I see this card. But the other one is Discover a Death Rattle minion. It costs 3 less. There's not really that many good Death Rattle minions right now, so maybe they do add more in this expansion to support this ability. But I don't see it right now. I think there's Arthas's horse. What's his name? Like Hope or Fierce, or, you know, Roach. So this ability is definitely the last one you even want to think about playing, because you'd rather have this specifically or reduce the cost of all minions in your hand by 2. So this card, I think, fits in very well in a Relic Demon Hunter, mainly because you'll make it to turn 7 with Relic Demon Hunter, and it fits what that deck wants to do, which is just get a lot of minions on board, do more lifesteal, and also mana cheat, because they have an absurd amount of mana cheats. So instead of playing the Demon Hunter Colossus, I could see you running this card instead, but this card also does less damage output than that Colossus. So I don't really know. I don't think this one is like too absurd or crazy. Maybe in Big Demon Hunter I could see it having potential, and again they might throw some more support in there for Death Rattles. But right now there's not too many good ones, so I think this card definitely belongs. I'm gonna go B with this. I don't think a Titan's gonna be C or D tier, because they have such strong abilities that I just don't think that any of them deserve that rank. So we're gonna stick with S, A, and B, I think. But I don't know. We'll see a few Titans in the future. Maybe that might not live up to that. So here's Khazgarath, the warrior one. I think this card's super cool. There's a lot of negativity around this card, but hey, you know, Warrior's coming back with Enrage Warrior, so this card might, you know, fit into some sort of deck and make its way through. I don't think it's outstanding. I don't think it's meta defining. I don't think it's that strong of a Titan, but I do think it's kind of cool, its abilities. The Titan, after this, uses an ability, gain immune this turn, and attack a random enemy minion, and all of its abilities kind of focus on that. He's kind of just like armoring himself up. Heart of Flame, gain +5 health, give your hero 5 armor. I mean, the only reason you'd want to do this is for survivability. Tanky, make him tanked up against an aggro deck that can't deal with this card right away. And then he's gonna have that life to hit a small minion on board, and then keep throwing out more of its abilities. The next one is Tempering, gain 5 attack, give your hero +5 attack this turn. So if you're playing this card in more of an aggro central deck, or if you just need that extra burst damage and you already have a weapon out, you're gaining 5 attack on your hero, so you're potentially doing a lot of damage and just ending the game. Or you're doing this and then killing 2 beefy minions. So you're killing a 5 health minion, and your Khazgarath is killing a 7 health minion. Not 7, I don't know math. 9 health minion, potentially. So you kill the smaller minion, Khazgarath takes care of the bigger minion for 9 mana. So it is kind of like a little bit of a board clear in that sense. And then Titan Forge, gain +2/+2 and draw a weapon. This one is, I think this one's interesting. Just a 6 mana 6/6 on board, draw a weapon, and it kills a potential minion. So that one's probably gonna be one of the first ones you play. These ones are very situational, and this one's just like average. Like this is what you play if you just drop in this on turn 6, I think. Or even a Heart of Flame you could play if you're dropping it on turn 6. It's all situational. I think that's why this card is so unique and so cool. I feel like a warrior when I play it, you know? I feel like I'm equipping things and becoming, I'm building myself up to become that warrior that I so possess and want to be. Super cool card. I do like it. I like the flavor of this card. But B tier. B tier it is. I think this is definitely one of the weakest Titans. But still strong in its own right. And who knows, I might be wrong. I do love the card and I love the flavor, but I think it definitely is still one of the weakest Titans. Compared to all of the other abilities that these cards do, which are fairly insane. This guy does 20 damage to a minion, and he also heals himself, you know, and then he also draws 3 cards and then makes them cost 3 less. Like, so you're playing about, you know, you have the potential to play 4 cards on one turn for 6 mana. And this card just kills a minion on board, and gives draws you a weapon, drawing 3 cards, kills them in, become 9, get 9 health, give yourself 5 armor. So you're healing for 5. This heals you for 6. So it's like there's a huge difference in ability for these. Just comparing these two specifically. So that's why he is definitely in B tier. Amethyst the Peacekeeper is next. This card's cool too. I enjoyed this card. I like Paladin. I'm biased again. Paladin, Warrior, and Death Knight are 3 of my favorite classes. So I do enjoy Paladin cards as well, and especially Paladin cards that encourage more control style decks. So taunt your minions can't take more than 2 damage. I already love that text. Give your other minions +2/+2. So if you have a huge board, you're giving all your minions +2/+2. That is fairly insane, but that is if you have a huge board, and this is more for a control-centric style Paladin deck. I mean, this could fit in pure Paladin. Would you want to play this over playing the Countess? I don't think so. You'd rather play the Countess on turn 7 because the next turn after is way stronger than what this card has to offer. But this as a 7 mana in that deck, I could see being very good because it does have the control aspect. It does have like the board swing. Hey, like I need to get back on board. I'm going to play this and set the attack and health to all enemy minions to do if they have a lot of things on board. Or you can also reinforce, draw 2 minions, set their attack and health, and cost 2 as well. Fits Paladin's, theme and what they want to do very well. Will this card be good? I think this card would be great if it has more support. Very strong card, but it also just kind of gets wiped out from all AoE board control, like all AoE spells, anything, Soul Stealer from Death Knight, stuff like that, which is the flaw of all Titans, I think. That's why you definitely want to play this and then play the strongest ability right away. And the strongest abilities on all of these Titans is very situational. But I would say the strongest one is this. If you want to finish the game, like it's a huge finish turn, like +2 on. Think about it, +2 on 3 minions is 6 damage that you can go face now with. You need a huge swing turn, set the attack and health of all enemy minions to 2. So these ones are definitely the strongest abilities, and then reinforce. So draw 2 minions, set their attack and health, and cost to 2. And I feel like that's like a theme with all the Titans, is there's always 2 strong abilities and one that's like, situational, kind of. Not the best whatsoever. Reinforced, I could see it working with even a Noyobot. If you like draw the 9 mana 3/6, a Noyotron, and you're playing it for 2, I think that's already way better than playing it for 9 or whatever cost it is. I don't know. I don't play that card. But now I can because of this Titan. So I think that this Titan belongs in the big ol'. It's like fairly busted. I want to go A tier. And then I'm gonna rearrange all of this nonsense and like where they actually belong in the tiers. But yeah, I'm gonna go A tier with that one. I do think it'll be ran in pretty much all paladin decks, besides the super aggro ones. Oh man, let's get on to this guy though. Agramar the Avenger. A 3/7, 6 mana 3/7, equipped a 3/3 Tesseract. Is that how you say it? What is that? Tesseract? Just looks like a bunch. This looks like someone just slammed their head on a keyboard. And this is the weapon. Super cool weapon. I like this card. I like the idea of this card. It does what Hunter wants to do. Just equip weapon and go face, and its abilities all follow that, you know, same plan. Give your weapon after you attack after your hero attacks. Summon a 3/3 enforcer with taunt. Do this when you're behind. More of the meh option. Give your weapon after your hero attacks. Draw a card. I see this being super good too, because if you are low on cards, top deck this card in an aggro deck, you're drawing more things over time, which is also super good. More things to play, and then, you know, keep pushing more damage, because this realistically does 9 damage. But with this ability, Swift Slash, give your weapon +2 attack, and your hero is immune while attacking. Super strong. That's 15 damage. That's a 5/3. A 6 mana 5/3 weapon and a 3/7 minion on board that your opponent is gonna have to use resources to kill. If not, you're just gonna upgrade your things even more and get crazier amounts of damage. I think this Titan specifically is more of like, hey, I'm gonna play this and then use Swift Slash to get that +2 attack and immune, because I think this is definitely the best ability overall. I don't think a Titan's ever had an ability where it's just like, hey, I'm gonna do this one no matter what. And I think that this is that Titan, because that's such a strong ability and exactly what Hunter decks want to do, which is just go face or potentially control the board, and you're gonna take no damage for it. So you can kill something at 5 health as well, and also take no damage for it, which is super strong. And then you always have the opportunity to, hey, you could draw 2 cards, you know, the next turn, when you want to play this one, or you can, you know, depending on how the game's going, you can summon a 3/3 enforcer with taunt as well. But I do think this is going to be played, and these ones are definitely the second abilities to be played. So what I think of this card, I think this card for Hunter, and only because it's in Hunter, I think this card's S tier. And specifically just because it's in Hunter. If it was in Warrior, that'd be super cool if it was in Warrior, but it's not. It'd be a different story, but yeah, that's because it just follows what Hunter wants to do so well that I think it's S tier. All right, the next one. What do we have? Oh my god, are we missing some? Did we not get all of them? All right, technical difficulties. 3 more Titans left. Eonar the Life Binder. So after you use an ability, summon a 5/5 ancient with taunt. Already very defensive, and very druid, and the card art's amazing. It's got little Groots. She's got little Groots and a 6-pack. So the abilities are restore your hero to full health, and granted it's 10 mana, so insane, and it's a 5/7, but very druid still. Restore your hero to full health. Best. Just like, what? Why does Titan need this? Insane. This is the ability you're gonna play right away. There's no other one that you'd want to play, I think. Just because if you're gonna be getting to 10 mana and having this card in hand while you're trying to do it, this is probably the ability you're gonna be playing first. Huge swing turn. You're ramping up to that much, and druids can ramp up that fast and to that point. But I do think you're always going to be restoring your hero to full health. This is the strongest ability from a Titan, I think, so far. Flourish, refresh your mana crystals. Very druid again, super strong, and then draw cards until your hand is full. Also super strong. Now, is this Titan going to survive so that you could do these other abilities, especially at turn 10? I don't think so. I think it's going to die by the time you can refresh your mana crystals, but if you get lucky, you can have a next turn, or if you don't even need to restore your full health and you've somehow made it to turn 10 or whatever turn you're on because of the ramp, to play this card and you refresh your mana crystals, it's definitely going to be a huge swing turn, and you're going to be in a good position as a druid. So I love this card, I love the flavor, and I love everything about it, and I can't wait to play it when Titans is finally released. So I do think this card is S tier, and it's the small baby one. I'm gonna put it all the way in the front because I do think that that card's broken. It's going to be in every single Druid deck from here on until it is gone. I think this card is insane, super strong, does what Druid wants to do. Druid always has huge decks, and I feel like Druid is the only like class that has cards that are 10 mana that are ridiculous and super strong. So I do think that this card belongs right there, right in that good old top tier broken spot. Next up is Norgana. I think that's how you say that. I have no idea. He's the only one with one name. I feel like all the rest of the Titans have like Sergius the Demented, Sergius the demonic demon of the hell pits. No, this is just Norgananon. So after you use this ability, double the power of other abilities. Enemy cards cost 1 more next turn, deal 5 damage, or cast 1 Mage Secret. Overall, I think that this is a weak Titan. In the sense, if it's a weak Titan, I feel like because it's gonna die. I think it's gonna die right away. This is gonna be a huge threat on board, and you're gonna want to kill it no matter what. But Mage does have the things to support it. Like you play this and you have the location on board and you freeze their minions, or you put a bunch of snap freezes in the deck and you put a bunch of things that freeze minions. The survivability goes up an extraordinary amount, so you can get to the point where you can, you know, buff this up, because this goes to 20 damage at the end of the day if it's the last ability played. So this is the only Titan I think that you actually want it to survive over time, and your deck could also be built around trying to get this to survive till that 3rd turn so you can deal 20 damage. Other than that, this is the only ability worthwhile. I think these ones are meh. I think most of the time you're gonna be, you know, playing this and then doing this, dealing 5 damage to a minion as a board clear, as a minion, a singular minion clear, just to get it off board, and then potentially do enemy cards cost 1 more next turn. So this goes to 2 and then goes to 4, and then this goes to 1, 2, and then 4 again. So 4 secrets randomly, super strong. But you're not going to play a 6 mana 3/8 and then play 1 and then cast 1 random Mage Secret unless you can specifically pick out that secret. Because if you could pick that secret out and do like a counter spell or an objection off of this, it'd be amazing, but you can't do that. So man, I think this is going to be played in every mage deck. Is it going to be good? I don't think so. It's not going to be anything crazy. I think this is also B tier minion. Khazgarath gets the honor of being bottom. I think Argus the Emerald, this is perfect. I think this B tier lineup is amazing. I think this is where they belong. Up here I'm gonna change a little bit, but before that, let's get on with Amanthul. I'm just not even gonna try anymore. Titan, after this uses an ability, discover any legendary minion. So it's a 7 mana 3/8. Why? I hate Priest, dude. I hate Priest, and this is everything I hate about Priest, is this card right here, and it's gonna make Priest so much more annoying or fun to play. It's like everyone likes playing Priest, they just don't like playing against it. So I don't know if you can discover Titans with this ability, but you're discovering any legendary minions. So it's legendary minions that are out of your class, so you can discover Alexandros from Death Knight, and, you know, start doing 3 damage to your opponent over, you know, every turn if you get lucky enough. And that's after you play one of these abilities, which is choose a non-Titan minion, summon a copy of it with +2/+2. Super strong ability. You're getting a 7 mana 3/10, which can attack, but it is also a huge threat, so your opponents are wasting mana on it, and just cards and like just minions, things in general, to kill it. And then on top of that, why don't we just choose a non-Titan minion and summon a copy of it with +2/+2. Super strong. Think about it. If your opponent has a Ragnaros, you have a 10/10 Ragnaros on board now. That fires deathly 8 damage worth of fireball somewhere. The other one is choose 2 enemy minions, remove them from the game. Also, it's like a life sentence or like a poof ability. So they have a Death Rattle or Rivendare. And you can just poof them away and just not even think about them anymore. So very Priest, very good, very strong. The next one is summon a random 6-cost minion, give it taunt and lifesteal. Definitely the weakest ability, I think, out of the 3. But if you are very behind in board, you're playing versus an aggro based minion deck, then 6-cost minion, and then give it taunt and lifesteal. There's some crazy 6-cost minions out there, and you're giving it lifesteal. You're just gonna gain back a bunch more health and more lifesteal in Priest, because God knows they needed it. They needed more of a reason to survive. So this card is insane. I think it's one of the best Titans in the game, and I think that's why it claims its spot right next to that lady. Hey, get out of the way. Oh man, I think this is actually really good. This little robot can go down a little bit. Actually, do I want to be it? No. I think this is great. I think this is where all of these Titans land. I think that these are the 5 strongest Titans that they're adding to the game. And then down below, the weaker ones. This one, the Warlock Titan, it could have the potential to be the strongest if Warlock can survive to that point and summon it. This one, I'm definitely giving brownie points just for it being a mech, and I want that to happen. And these two belong in the B tier. Guys, that is the tier list. I think all of them are in the right place. If you have any other opinions, leave them down in the comments below. I do greatly appreciate it. Guys, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you want to see when I post, and I do post every single day, and look forward to more Titan content when the expansion comes out and just in the future with more card reveals. Again, it's coming out August 1st. Super pumped, super excited, and I'll see you guys in the next video.